Raw after WrestleMania 41 is done, my friends. I'm so tired. I'm here in Las Vegas, and my voice is killing me. I sound a little bit like Darth Vader. What happened to my accent then? But WWE just put on what I believe to be a pretty good show. To deal with this, the Raw after WrestleMania has become a thing onto its own. That's my brain trying to come up with words, not being able to. And you have to have surprises, you have to have twists, and you have to have debuts. If you do not do that, you are going to disappoint the fans. And ultimately, wrestling is about serving your audience, right? That's it. So even if it's an unfair level of expectation, that is what we have put into our heads and into our minds and into our tootsie toes. And I think ultimately WWE delivered on that, especially when it came to the last thing that we saw. At first, I wanted Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman to say more, because I assumed WWE did this intentionally. We cut it so fast, I was like, what, that's it? We're not going to do anything else, because Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins comes out. Seth Rollins stands there, essentially, makes it clear that he's taken Roman Reigns' wise man, he's taken CM Punk's best friend, and then CM Punk comes out, right? He's taping his fists. We've seen him do this before. And I thought, is Raw actually going to go off air with CM Punk and Seth Rollins brawling? There's nothing wrong with that, but we've seen it so many times. You get used to these things. And again, when you get used to something, it's the law of diminishing returns. They do whoop each other's ass, but of course, what distracts CM Punk? It's Paul Heyman. He wants to punch him in the face, essentially. Seth Rollins doesn't like that. Boom, curb stomp. Paul Heyman then talked something interesting. He called Seth Rollins the undisputed best star of the industry. And he also mentioned something at WrestleMania 42, or the story is going to stretch to WrestleMania 42. He didn't use the word story. I need to go back and watch that. This is the problem with doing those videos right after you've left the show itself. But we didn't get any further, because out comes Roman Reigns. Now that surprised me. I didn't think we were going to see Roman Reigns on this episode of Raw. He often disappears after WrestleMania. I'm so happy that he hasn't, because I think there's loads we can do here. He gets into it with Seth as well, right? He spears Seth, he gets rid of him. He Superman punches Paul Heyman. And then just when he's going to spear him to finally put that dagger through his heart, a hooded gentleman or a hooded person spears Roman from nowhere, and it's Braun flipping Breaker. That's when I was like, yes, this is the stuff. Paul Heyman, I would presume, is essentially putting a new group together. You can call it a brand new dangerous alliance if you understand WCW law from a long old time ago. So you shouldn't know anything about that if you're a young pup. Why the flub would you? And then Braun Breaker goes crazy. He spears Roman Reigns through the stage. And these three guys essentially rough up CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And that's how Raw goes off air. We got a brand new faction, a brand new group. I mean, the Judgment Day are about to disintegrate. We know that too. The Bloodline are essentially dead. So I think WWE is certainly going to build their Raw storylines around this. I couldn't be more excited because, yes, I've now started to think that maybe Paul Heyman mentioned WrestleMania 42 because maybe it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker for the World Championship. I understand I'm fantasy booking like crazy here, but you know how WWE works. That's not what Paul Heyman is telling you. I think it's going to be a story beat when we go back in time. We're like, oh, hi, we've been through so much and now we hate each other. That's a stupid thing I'm throwing out there on the off chance that I'm right. It's just an idea that popped into my brain. But now I also think a backlash is going to be CM Punk and Roman Reigns, because I don't think you saw it on TV. They looked at each other for ages once the cameras had gone off air to kind of act like, well, I don't like you and you don't like me, but we have teamed together before, so maybe we have to do it again. It will be against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. I think a brand new guy will debut, and my guess would be Jeff Cobb, because he has just left New Japan to go to WWE, and he'd be perfect in that role. I mean, he's a Paul Heyman guy through and through. And then, yeah, whatever the hell we're going to call them. Yeah, Paul Heyman, Jeff Cobb, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins will absolutely be the guy to defeat Jey Uso for his World Championship. I've said that before. I'm saying it again now. I think that's absolutely the right thing to do. I don't think Jey needs to hold it that long. Again, go watch my other videos. This was great. This was awesome. This was brilliant. It was almost the best thing on Raw, but because of my own personal tastes, we're not going to say that. But it was I wouldn't say it's a brave move. I think it's just a smart move. I love the fact that WWE looked at the lay of the land and was like, this is what we want to do. I'm so pumped about it. I'm so excited about it. I love the fact that Seth Rollins is going to be leading a group, because don't forget, the other groups he's always been a part of. I mean, the Shield was basically you, me, and everybody else, whereas in the Authority, he was an underling. And we kind of had his visionary group, whatever the fuck that Cole was called, during the pandemic. But if we're going to turn him into a mega superstar, massive heel, this is the way to do it. It's going to help Braun Breaker. Maybe he can win the IC Championship back so they have all the gold. Don't have to make that decision now. I mean, Jeff Cobb could... Well, this is why I think you could get two more guys. If you put a Jeff Cobb and a Bronson Reed, there's probably overkill, but they could become the tag team champions too. Although it'd be great to get a woman in there. I mean, Becky Lynch turned heel tonight that we'll talk about in just 1 second, but that's probably too close given that her and Seth Rollins are related in real life, and they probably want to keep their work life separate. But it's not going to be Naomi, but Naomi would be so good in this as well. But I thought this was a great piece of business. as wrestling nerds say. And it got me excited about the future. And that's what the Raw After WrestleMania should do. It should be like a season opener. That's kind of been muddied in the waters a bit, this one. It kind of feels like an amalgamation, but that's okay as well. But a great end to Raw. And I love the fact we're strapping the rocket to Seth Rollins properly. Let's let him carry the brand, as they say, because if anyone's earned it, it's him. I love the fact he won on Saturday night. I love that CM Punk and Roman Reigns were there. And if we do that tag match, Fabu, man, sign me up. Yeah, we mentioned Becky Lynch too, and this will get me excited because I predicted this on WrestleMania Night 2 Ups and Downs. I thought we did the tag team change to have a nice pop at WrestleMania so that Liv and Raquel could win them back on Raw. WWE has done this time and time again, so have other wrestling promotions. That's what we did, and we did do that, of course, because the idea was Becky was going to get mad at Lyra, blame her for this, and man, she whooped her, took us. I think 3 times she got back in the ring, and she kept smashing her with manhandle slams. The people cheered, but I don't think you can't take crowd reactions when it comes to WrestleMania crowds, because we all do kind of go off on our own tangent. We just do whatever the hell we want to do. But the reason I like this is because now, I think we talked about this back in January, probably late last year, we can do Lyra versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title, finally shine a spotlight on that thing. I love the fact we've got these titles away from those two, because I do not like it when we have somebody with all the belts. We're just condensing, don't condense, spread out. And we can do Becky versus Lyra and have it be a proper feud, a proper program. We can lean on everything they did on NXT. It also explains why the hell they came out to Becky's music. She was actually a secret bad guy, and we just didn't know it. So maybe she'd yelled at Lyra, "We're going to come out to my music. No one cares about yours." And the match itself was awesome as well. And this is why I was so happy they did go back the belts back to Liv and Raquel. We now need to come up with a bunch of teams to challenge them and stretch this out throughout the year. The big one I still want is Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross being a part of the Wyatt Six, because we know they've worked together before and they too have a history. But they're great. This was a great match. It was so much fun. It was so entertaining. Liv and Raquel just have such a good dynamic together. We can keep them together for ages. And by that point, we know Liv can go on an awesome run in the singles division. By then, hopefully Raquel will be good to go as well. She probably is now. We've not really seen her as a heel when she has been a bad guy going after singles belts. I can only see good things here. And again, the Becky-Lara feud, I'm not going to moan about it. And at this stage in her career, I think Becky Lynch is more interesting as a heel. Because the last time she was a heel was under Vince McMahon control. So now I want to see what she's going to be like as a heel under Triple H control. Hopefully she'll have more creative input to all of this. But it got me excited, right? Once again, if someone gets me excited, you can tick the box, which is also the same for the opener, right? I'm going to save my favorite thing until the end. Or at least I'll probably forget something else, but I'm going to pause on it a little bit. John Cena's opening promo was fantastic. I know some people don't like the fact that he becomes this weird, he's a nice guy on TV here, but then he's a supervillain here. I just like the things he says, because I never thought he was going to say them. Again, he talks about the relationship. At one point, the fans were chanting, "We are sorry." So I don't care, man. I'm never going to give you anything. You've taken so many shots at me. There's nothing you can say to me now. I've gone through it all. The best part was he had his 36 dates, which is his 2025 calendar, on the screen, and he started deducting them. This is gone, that's gone. I've done a SmackDown, I've done Elimination Chamber, I've done WrestleMania, I've done my Vegas run. I think we got down to 27 or something like that. And his whole point was, you say I can't wrestle, well, I don't have to wrestle. I just have to outlast the clock, and I will forever be the World Heavyweight Champion, because I wanted to, or the WWE Champion, because I want to take it away. Don't care about Bruno Sammartino, Steve Austin, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. He did not say The Rock. And I have to point out, I don't think I got this across very well yesterday in my video yesterday, which I apologize for. I was super tired. It was like 1 in the morning and my brain was frazzled. The Travis Scott thing didn't work because The Rock wasn't there. And The Rock not being there is not good in terms of the story. I'm not saying about the person or what they may be doing or who's busy and what schedule they've got. I'm just looking at it from a pure narrative point of view. If The Rock is the person that made John Cena sell his soul, he needs to be there when he wins the championship. The fact that John Cena didn't even mention his name here makes me think we're using that term, pivoting completely away from it. And I think WWE needs to say something. Whether John Cena says, "I didn't sell my soul to The Rock, but he was just a guy that I sat down with and convinced me to do this," we need to put a full stop on it. Again, I think I mentioned this yesterday. Well, actually, there was something that we did today that was kind of like this. We did the Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky match, and Adam Pearce just came out to rubber stamp it, so it didn't happen magically. When MJF wasn't in the Owen Hart Cup, he just threw away a line saying, "I don't want to have to work for it," so I told Tony Khan, "No, I need just a little quip, a little full stop, a little full sentence with with John Cena, so I can understand why he won't even say The Rock's name." And the commentators don't really talk about it either. It's very, very odd. I can get over it though, because after this, when John Cena's like, "You get nothing, I hate you all, I'm never going to defend this championship," Randy Orton just magically appears, drops him with the RKO. John Cena said the S word just before he went down, which made it even better. And now, given that his face is on the poster, of course it's going to be John Cena versus Randy Orton. One last time at Backlash. Everybody flooded my social media, which I appreciate, Simon316. And do not forget, I'm not joking around here. I mean it. I said it yesterday. I said it in the WrestleMania videos. I tweeted it out. I'm manifesting that I'm just going to have an appearance. I need to be a contract. I'm going to have an appearance with a major wrestling promotion within the next 12 months to go and tweet them to. I don't care who it is. You know what the big ones are. TNA, AEW, WWE, anybody. There's more I haven't even said here, but I don't want to bore you. Go tell them you want me. And if you don't want me, don't do it. But if you do, go and do it. Put it in the comments as well. But the whole point is this. That's just a wonderful match I'm happy to see back. It's nostalgic. I wasn't the biggest fan of Orton versus Cena back in the day. I thought it went too long. But also I was younger and a bit more spiteful when it came to life. But who the hell wouldn't want to see that just one last time in St. Louis, where John Cena is going to get booed and Randy Orton is going to get cheered. It's not going to be a WrestleMania situation, I don't think, at all. That just gets me pumped and that just gets me excited. And I think it's so damn good. And Randy Orton is the good guy and John Cena is the bad guy. Once again, we're in La La Land. We're not in Toto anymore, Kansas. These things aren't meant to have happened. It was a tremendous, just brilliant. I have no problem with it whatsoever, apart from the Rock stuff. It is a massive issue. And some people thought Cody was going to be there. He's a SmackDown guy. And I bet you he feuds with Drew McIntyre. Right, actually, no, I'm going to talk about the women's stuff first. Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. Excellent match. Go and watch it. Did not like the fact that Roxanne Perez ran in and broke it up, because I think wrestling, or WWE at the moment, relies on that too much of a trope. I mean, from anything, it would be better if Roxanne Perez broke it up right away, because then it takes the match away from you and you would get mad. It's a minor gripe though, because again, match brilliant, aftermath awesome. Julia also appears and the crowd knew all who these NXT people were. So that's a great sign. She essentially goes heel and she teams up with Roxanne Perez, when all of a sudden out comes Rhea Ripley and she chases everybody away. She looks at the title and she looks at Io Sky. It feels like we're going to go back to that program. And of course now we have Stephanie and Roxanne and Julia all falling out as well. So I think I've forgotten someone as well. Have I forgotten someone? I don't know. But the Stephanie Vaquer pop, the match itself, putting all these things together and essentially tell you what direction we were going to go. This again was looking at the fan base and going, what would they like? There was no reason for Stephanie Vaquer to be on Raw. It was a babyface match. Io Sky is tremendous as well. She's just such a lovable person with her mannerisms and stuff. And Stephanie Vaquer comes across as the coolest person ever. We also did a stare down between Rhea Ripley and Julia. Who the hell doesn't want to see that? All of this rules. So the Roxanne Perez thing, you can just throw it out. It's a small thing that I would have done. But then we wouldn't have got the match. And sometimes let's just take what we are being offered, because why the hell not? But yes, let's talk about the other tag team stuff we did. New Day came out. They're the brand new champions. Alpha Academy come out. Maxine Dupree says, well, these guys whooped your ass in 60 seconds. Let's do a rematch. She then insinuates, excuse me, kids, they don't last very long in the bedroom. Ask your parents what that means when you're about 16 years old. So they decided that's enough for them to accept the challenge, but it doesn't happen because the New Day run away after Rusev. Yes, the former Miro, also the former Rusev, returns to WWE. It does sound like his theme has been Death Rebelled, but I wasn't able to hear it where I was watching it properly. I'm so happy. I love this guy. You remember all the stupid stuff I used to do on Ups and Downs. Again, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, and please do subscribe to me too. I don't know what happened in AEW, but I loved him there. I love the fact that he's back. Obviously, he destroys the Alpha Academy. Everyone was like, oh, he came back to feud with the Alpha Academy. I don't care if he comes back to feud with a chair, a bed, the bed versus Rusev. As long as he's whooping ass, they can cut promos, and hopefully we can take some of his Redeemer personality, what's wrong with my voice, Redeemer personality, and throw it into WWE. I'm a happy man. I am warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. He is absolutely one of my favorite modern wrestlers. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just gravitate towards people. I just think he's so damn fun. And let's have him smash some people up. Bronson Reed tweeted something, I think. Do that match. Do the Bron Breakker match. Do Jeff Cobb match if he comes in. Do everyone. CM Punk. Roman Reigns. I don't care. Just put Rusev in there. And I think he could become the Intercontinental Champion by the end of the year. Do Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev. And once again, I'm going to be backflipping over the place, which is a terrible idea. I loved it. I couldn't have come up with anyone to return or re-debut, whatever you call, on the Raw After WrestleMania that I would have preferred over this guy. And I would stop drooling now because my throat is going. And we did the Pat McAfee angle as well. So Gunther essentially pushed around Michael Cole. He chokes out Pat McAfee. Sounds like Pat McAfee's going to be off for a while. And it was well done, really, really well sold, and we actually let it breathe, which was important. Michael Cole says to Adam Pearce, you know, we have to be allowed to speak how we want, and we can't be threatened by these people. So someone is going to stand up to Gunther, and from a commentary standpoint, you would imagine it would be Wade Barrett. Like, why would he just back down from this? And I would love to see a Wade Barrett versus Gunther. But that's something that Gunther could beat, and it wouldn't be a problem. We'd just be so excited to see Wade back. And I also kind of think this is somehow going to tie into the Goldberg thing. I don't know whether Michael Cole gets him as his chosen warrior. It's a bit lame, but I am of the opinion, I think to be in the minority, that Gunther versus Goldberg is a match I want, as long as Gunther wins. and he's not the champion anymore. I don't think Goldberg should get the victory. I think that would be a shame. But I think Gunther getting a win over a guy like that, and maybe Wade Barrett along the way too. Maybe it's Wade Barrett that brings him in, which is, I mean, it's all very convoluted and weird stuff. I'm not going to say that it's going to work, but it feels like we're headed in that direction. But yes, a super good angle. And the Jey Uso stuff was nice, but strange. And Jey Uso comes out, he's super duper over. I've told you how I feel about Jey Uso. It ties into Rusev in many ways. When Rusev Day was so over, we should have gone with it. We didn't. There'll be other people I'm not thinking of right now. I want to go with people when they're over. And if it sucks, just take the belt off him. Who cares? We can move on. People forget things in 2 days anyway. But, you know, Sami Zayn comes out, he makes his big return, just says he's super happy for Jey. Lots of people thought he was going to turn heel. I didn't pick up on that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't want Sami Zayn to turn heel on Jey Uso. Just do a babyface match. Then Jimmy Uso comes out and they all hug. I thought Roman was going to come out, but we saved him for the show for later. I thought Seth Rollins maybe kicked off the feud, but we're not doing that because I think we're going to do the tag team match. So Jey Uso may not even be on Backlash. I don't know how I feel about that, but I am very happy he's the World Heavyweight Champion. It was just a nice segment. Not everything has to be totally crazy and totally wacky and totally, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it can just be a good thing. And this was a good thing. So I may have forgotten something. Please forgive me if I have. It's so late here. My brain is so fried. Not that I'm not grateful, because I really am. But in terms of a go-home episode of Raw, I really enjoyed this. That last angle, the first stuff with John Cena, and the return of my boy Rusev. I can't get mad at it, and I won't get mad at it. I won't get mad at you either. But yes, please do interact with the video, like the video, share the video, subscribe. Click the video on the screen to get my WrestleMania opinions, and there's a bunch of sponsors down there. Please do support me and come say hello on social media, and go manifest as well. You don't have to, genuinely, but if you want to do it with me, I want it to do together as a team, because I was only able to get to Vegas and do my wrestling stuff and YouTube stuff with you guys. So I want to take you along for the journey. Normal service will return tomorrow. I will be back in the United Kingdom, so it'll be the magical green screen again, although some people don't realize it's a green screen, so I won't say that. I just live in that fancy apartment. Of course I do. But thank you very much for the support and allowing me to come and do this crazy stuff. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I know my videos have been trapped here in a hotel room, but I know when I watch sort of reaction opinions, I'm happy to just listen. No matter where the person is, I don't know what we're talking about. I appreciate you very much. I'm going to sleep because I may die. Love you lots, and I'll see you tomorrow.